Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny and we're gardening here in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Today we're going to take a look at all of the plants that I have in my stash, which the vast majority of them are PassAlong plants. Do you have PassAlong plants in your garden? It's so wonderful to be able to share garden plants with your friends, your family, and even strangers. If you post about it on social media, you can maybe get some that way too. So come with me and let's talk about these PassAlong plants and what they are and where they're going to go in my garden. I really enjoy sharing garden cuttings, seedlings, volunteers, even just divisions of my plants with my friends, and I have benefited over the years from so many of my friends and family giving me plants in the same way. And so PassAlongs are definitely a rich part of the gardening culture, and I'm grateful today to be sharing some with you. Now, many of you have commented so kindly on my Minnesota videos that I did with my daughter-in-law, Beth. But you need to know that Beth didn't get her love of gardening from me. She got it from her mother, Judy. And Judy is the one who gave me these plants. And I'm so grateful to bring home a little bit of Judy's garden to add into my garden here. So let's take a peek at what Judy so kindly gave me out of her garden. All 6 of these pots are filled with plants that Judy gave to me. And so let's take a look at each one. This is called Snow on the Mountain, and Judy uses this as a ground cover in her home. It's tolerant of dry shade, it's tolerant of tree roots, and it's a really versatile ground cover. You may know this as Snow on the Mountain, or you might know it as bishop's weed or gout weed or ground elder. Those are some other common names for this plant. I am eager to plant this into a dry spot. I have lots of dry spots in my garden, and so this will spread via rhizomes. It's pretty easy to pull out, I think, if it gets into where you don't want it to go, but also it is a really pretty variegated foliage that lights up a shady corner, brings interest to some place where you have a lot of green going on. It's just a really versatile ground cover, and I'm eager to put this into my garden. Thank you, Judy. These 2 pots are full of, this is a geranium, a hardy geranium, and I believe this is Bevan's variety. That's what I'm told by Judy and Beth. This one here is smooth and glossy, while this one here is soft and fuzzy. So maybe I have 2 different types of geranium here. One of them is Bevan's variety, and the other, I don't know. Maybe Judy can tell me. But also, as you do PassAlong plants, sometimes you get like ride-along plants too. These are violets that came out of Judy's mother's garden, and of course wild violets grow wild in a lot of places, but it's nice to know that I have a little bit of Grandma Sarah's here in my garden here in Maryland, and maybe I'll take some of our violets up to Judy so we can have a cross mixed family violet patches going on. The third and final type of plant that Judy gave me are some lady's mantle. Now, if you've been watching my channel this summer, you may know that I have a history of hit and miss with lady's mantle. When I lived in a house, let's see, that would have been from 2002 to 2013 over in Elkridge, Maryland. I was able to grow lady's mantle really well, and it thrived there. I think it's because it was benefiting from our lawn irrigation. And then I moved to Raleigh for 2 years, and I tried it there and it didn't work. I think it wasn't wet enough. And then I moved here, and I've tried lady's mantle in 3 different places in my garden here in Baltimore. One in the side yard, one in the front yard, and one now in the backyard. And I have killed lady's mantle 3 times here in my garden. And I think my problem is that it wants to stay moister than I have given it conditions for. So Judy gave me 3 of her divisions from her hardy, cold hardy, tough Minnesota garden. And I'm eager to plant these here in Baltimore, and I will learn my lesson about irrigation. I will keep them wet, not wet, but keep them evenly moist, and see if I can't get these lady's mantle to grow in my garden. I do have a few other plants in my stash, so let's just take a look at what those are. These are the broccoli starts that I purchased about a month ago before we went on vacation to Minnesota, and they sat unloved in my yard while I was gone. The insects have been loving them. And let's see, are they all alive still? Looks like maybe, yeah, they are. All 6 of them are still alive. So I'm going to try to get these in the ground and grow some broccoli this fall. This is a hosta that I bought in Minnesota when we were at Gerton's. This is Lakeside Little Tuft hosta, and it's a miniature. And I believe that it only gets to be 10 inches tall and 12 inches wide. So it's nearly full size already. And I'm going to add this to the side yard garden. I love the color. It's yellow. I mean, it's not even chartreuse. It's kind of creamy yellow as the light color. And then there's a mid-tone green and then a dark green. So I'm really pleased to have this new addition and a souvenir from my Minnesota trip. Another souvenir in addition to what Judy sent me home with. And then this is, I believe, a goat's beard. I had done 5 pots of goat's beard as bare root this past spring. Only 3 of them sprouted, so I planted those 3 over in the side yard garden. This one I just left on the driveway all summer long, and eventually, I guess, it grew. So, yeah, I think either that or this is a big honkin' weed tree. I don't know what it is. We'll see. So other than these plants that Judy gave me and the 3 that are over there on the ledge, my plant stash is actually empty right now. Okay, I can't say it's empty when I have all these plants sitting here, but you know what I mean, right? I don't have any, I haven't purchased stuff lately. By lately, I mean in the last 3 days since I've been home. So, I think we are feeling the need for a garden center trip, but I have a little bit of planting of these things to do before I can rightfully go out and get anything else from the garden center. So let's see about planting these plants. I'm going to put the 3 ladies' mantle plants right here in front of this hosta border, in front of the Fothergilla plant that I put in this past spring, and in front of some astilbes. Now, astilbes want to stay moist also. So I think this is a great location to put ladies' mantle because their neighbors need the same kind of water as they do. So that's my plan here. Now, I do have some English daisies, which are perennial, planted right here. And I think I'm going to move a few of them so that I can make a border of these ladies' mantle rather than having the ladies' mantle kind of angle back in like they're sitting right now. So anyway, just let me get these into the ground right here. I'm going to be using plant tone today. I don't have any biotone, so I'll just put a little bit of plant tone in the holes to get them a little bit of food. Now, the ladies' mantle are not expected to put on any growth right now because we are heading into toward our first frost, which will be sometime in late October. So I'm just going to give them this plant tone just really to help their roots get established a little bit. I'm not going to go overboard with it. Now, we've had a couple of inches of rain in the last 3 or 4 days, but even so, this soil is pretty powdery dry under here, about 2 inches down and below. So this is a very dry area because of all, we have got maple trees up here. So this is full of maple tree roots, and maples are notorious for taking the moisture out of the soil. So I definitely will have to put this area onto drip irrigation in order to keep both the astilbes and the ladies' mantle happy. But luckily, drip irrigation is on my plan for the coming weeks. This soil is wonderful. Judy, you must have great garden soil. And I had hand pulled out those English daisies. Their roots are pretty shallow and small root balls, so I was able to just pull them out with my fingers out of this wet topsoil. And I think I'm just going to spread them kind of around the bottom of the incredible hydrangea toward back toward the hostas, and just have a, I don't know, they were from seed and they're really just an experiment, so we'll see what they do in that environment. I've got the lady's mantle put into the ground. Normally I would water them in pretty deeply, but we've had a lot of rain lately. The pots were fully saturated when I transplanted them into the ground, and we're expecting more rain today, so I'm just going to let Mother Nature do the job of watering these in. Let's move on to the snow on the mountain, or bishop's weed, or gout weed, or ground elder, whatever you call it. Snow on the mountain. Let's go find a spot. So snow on the mountain, bishop's weed, is very deer resistant, and it is a great spreader. And you haven't seen me garden in this area very much, if at all, over the course of this YouTube channel. And that's because this is a primary deer walking path. And yes, as you can see, every hosta I have in this area has been chewed down to stalks. And this one is recovering with some new leaves, but the rest of them, they're just really goners. So I need to put something in this space that can withstand deer pressure. So I'm really excited to have some bishop's weed or snow on the mountain to put in this space. Also, this gets dappled sunlight all day long during the summer, and so I think this plant will really thrive in this location. So I might even split this up into 2 or 3 sections just to get it started spreading. I think eventually I'm going to have to move these hostas inside the fence. I could try spraying for deer and keeping them off that way. I really am tired of losing these hostas every year though, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But for right now, they're staying, and I'll spray them. I have been spraying them after they got eaten, obviously. All right, this is an area, we had a tree about where this azalea is sitting right now. We had a walnut tree that was here, and we had it taken down in February when we had the big trees out back taken down. And so all the mulch here is this raw wood chips from when they dug the stump out, and we just spread the wood chips around. So you can see it's in the process of breaking down. The whitish color stuff is the raw wood that is being eaten by fungus. So there's nothing wrong with this mulch. It's doing its natural process, so don't worry about that. Yeah, this fell apart into 3 sections very nicely. Judy, thank you so much for giving me 3 really healthy sections. I'm going to spread these out from each other so that this plant will take less time to fill in this area. Actually, there's more than 3 sections. I'm going to actually let it fall apart how it wants to and get however many out of it that I can. I was able to get 6 really nice divisions out of that one pot. So thank you, Judy, for giving me such an abundance of this plant. I'm really looking forward to having that fill in here and be a really nice bright spot in this somewhat shady dappled sun area of the side yard. I didn't want Judy's really rich soil to go to waste, so I tucked some around each of these starts. Thank you again, Judy. All right, and now let's go take those geraniums and put them into the ground in a lovely spot where they can thrive. So I have these 2 pots of geranium rhizomes. I think they're different kinds, but I'm going to plant them next to each other and just let them intermingle, because I do like to do that as well, mixing the same species but different cultivars of plants. I think it looks really nice sometimes. So I'm gonna put them under the crepe myrtle tree, kind of in front of that stand of white penstemon between the two leucothues. If they fill in here, I think that'll be a really nice border plant along this edge. And this gets at most dappled sun. These plants kind of want shade or part shade, so I think this is going to be a nice area for them. It'll be part of the sun border that is up on the other end of things, but it will actually not be in the sun border. It'll be in the part shade to shade border. So I think it's a really nice plant to have right here. So let's get these in. We got the two geraniums put in there, and I'm eager to see how they flourish over the coming years as well. Once again, thank you, Judy, for giving me all these wonderful plants, and I will bring you some the next time. The time is right, probably next spring sometime, next time I'm up there in the spring. Okay, I just got off of a text thread with Judy, and she told me that she thinks that this geranium variety is Bevan's variety, which is a weird name, but actually the word variety is in the variety name. When does that ever happen? I don't know. Anyway, and then this other one, the smaller leaf, glossy leaf, she thinks is Shepherd's Warning. Now, she was told that it was Johnson's Blue, but she thinks that based on the flower color and the leaf shape and things like that, she thinks it's Shepherd's Warning, not Johnson's Blue. So that's the thing about PassAlong plants. Sometimes the giver tells you it's one thing and it turns out to be another because the giver was mistaken or had lost their records or never knew in the first place and was making an educated guess, or sometimes the giver just flat out doesn't know what the plant variety is. In this case, Judy does know, and so I'm grateful for that. But sometimes friends give you plants and you don't know what you're getting necessarily. You might know the species, but you might not know the particular cultivar. And that's what makes gardening so fun sometimes, passing plants to each other and sharing in the bounty. And it's okay to not know every cultivar name. I just like to know them in case someone asks me what they are because they want to find it for their own garden. So that's the only reason I keep records like that. Do you have PassAlong plants in your garden? Put comments down below and let me know how you do PassAlongs. Do you share with friends and family, your neighbors? Do you post on social media? Do you go to plant swaps? How do you do it? And maybe you can share an idea that will give somebody else an idea for how to fill out their garden for less money and more friendship. Have a wonderful day in your garden, friends. I hope that you'll come back and join us for more videos coming very soon, and I will see you in another video. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.